What's going on, guys? It's Nathan and welcome to another Last question mark challenge, except it's going to be this time at Britain, where I live, which I'm not going to say the exact spot, which you might actually see in a video that might have already been out or is going to go out in the next few days. So we are going to be driving as Leclerc from the back of the grid, same as we did for Lewis Hamilton, and I'll just take you through the grid now. So Lewis Hamilton's on pole, with Bottas in second. And as we go down the grid, we see Vettel, then Verstappen. Then we have Albon and Norris, then Magnussen, Sainz, then Perez and Grosjean, then Stroll and Kvyat, followed by Ricciardo and Hulkenberg, then Raikkonen and Giovinazzi, then Pierre Gasly and George Russell. Robert Kubica and Leclerc, who I'm driving as, picks up the last spot on the grid. So let's get straight into the action. So we are now on the grid. I am just going to decide what my strategy is, which I will bring up in a second, I think. So you can now see the strategy. It was only on there for a brief moment of time, but basically what it is, it's starting on the mediums, going along and switching to the softs at the end, so if you couldn't see. And we are now underway. And what happens is, I obviously get a bad start, even though the patch is meant to avoid that. I swoop around the outside. There's an accident, which you might be able to see, but basically I think someone crashed into them. Someone crashed into somebody and the T-boned and just stopped everyone, but I was zooming around the outside, so I got away with it. So as we then come through onto the straight, I forgot the name of it, bro, I need to figure that one out. We try and catch up to Stroll, who's ahead of us, and we dive down the inside trying to get Sainz as well, but we don't get Sainz, but we get past Stroll, who then brings it back at us, who we defend up pretty well and try to go around the outside of Sainz, but it does not pull off, so we'll just sit back behind him and try to get past him going down into Cops. So as we go down into Cops, through Cops, we get the job done very easily there by swooping on the inside of him. And we are now behind Perez, but Sainz looks like he might come back at us. But we have now just pulled away from Sainz, going through Maggots and Beckett. So as we now catch up to Perez on the exit of that corner of Beckett, we now go charging after him, but I don't think we'll get him on this straight or do a dive, which we do, but we'll try a dive bomb and we just about pull it off. Right on the edge there. If it left a few more seconds, that wouldn't have worked, or even a bit further back. So we have now got past Perez and trying to get closer to Magnussen, who is dead ahead of us, and we are looking to get some speed going through the first corner, which we do carry a lot through and get up a chunk on him. As we dive down the inside, will it pull off? And it does. So we are now into P7, but Magnussen tries to touch us again and pull and almost spins us, but we keep the car under control and it pulls off. So now it's a pretty big gap till we catch up to Norris, but as we gain so much time going through the corner, and now we are coming closer to Norris very quickly, who so as we come up the old pit straight through Cops, we carry a lot of speed and get a slingshot off Cops through Maggots and Beckett, but Norris is going to put up a fight and we just swoop round the outside of him easy into Maggots, so we get the job done past him there. So now we are coming up to Verstappen, who is, as you can see, just a bit further down the road from us, but I'm going to skip to when we get closer to him, because I think it's a few laps till we do that. So yeah, that will happen right now, well, in a few seconds. So it might look like it's different, but basically Verstappen took over Albon, so Albon is now the one in front of us. So I'm going to try and move down Albon down the inside, which doesn't work out. I just have to pull out in case my front wing was taken off, which it might have been. So as we try and get the power down coming out of the last corner, it's just too far ahead to go for a dive down the first corner. But can we get some speed going through the first corner, which we don't, because we end up going wide and understeering a bit. But we get a lot of time back going into village. So we dive down the inside and we make the job done. As the engineer just compliments us on doing that. So obviously Verstappen is now the next one up, but Albon looks like he might come back at us, which he tries to. But we just have like too much speed at the Ferrari top end speed. So it's just too difficult for him to get past. As we now catch up to Verstappen, who is getting held up quite a lot by Bottas, which is helping me out because they're slowing each other down. As Vettel and Hamilton are pretty far off in the distance. So as we come through Copse, we get very close to Verstappen, the back of Verstappen, and we try to go side by side through Maggot, but he pushes us off. I have to go wide, and after I cut the corner a bit, but I didn't lose any position, so I won't get a penalty. And as we come through these corners, Albon, as we lost a lot of speed going through Beckett's, then Albon tries to look around the outside of us, going through Stowe, but we defend that pretty well. And Verstappen is still going to be ahead of us by quite a big margin, on which we need to try and gain back, which we will do, I think, but I'm not sure when that will happen. So Albon looks like he's coming back at us again, and teammate is, I think that just said 4 seconds ahead. So Vettel is actually not that far ahead, as you can just see them going. They're maybe 2 corners ahead. We dive down the inside of Verstappen, and it just about pulls off. So that worked out pretty well. So as we come now through down the straight, Bottas is pretty far ahead, but because the Ferrari has so much speed at the top end, we catch up to Bottas pretty good. And now we are trying to just find a way past. Did we look down the inside? We did, but it didn't pull off because Bottas covers that off pretty well. So as we now come through the old pit straight, old national pit straight, Bottas looks very slow going through Copse, but I have to brake in case I go into the back of him. But now we are going side by side through Maggots and Beckett's. This time I don't get pushed off like I did against Verstappen, and I make it stick on the track and get past him at the same time. So that happens, but Bottas is going to come back at us here. We try to defend him, but he actually does get in front of us for a brief moment, but we just go around the outside of him at store, which works pretty well. And yeah, so we are now coming onto the 6th lap, which I will cut to because not much happens. So as you can see now, we're on lap 7, the next lap, and Bottas is pretty far behind us, but there's a yellow flag there. I think it's because Gasly, it might have been, I think it was Gasly, was pulled off the side of the track because his engine blew up, I think. And you can see Vettel comes in the pitch, and that's, I think that's like a sign for me, come in next lap to try and get the jump on him on the overcut. So as you can see, we skip to the next lap, and we are coming into the pits. Hamilton is leading us in because he is coming in this lap as well. So as we come through the pits, Albon comes in with us, I think, and Verstappen and Bottas stay out. So this could get very interesting depending on where Vettel comes. So we're going to try and hope Hamilton gets held up. But does he get past us? No, we don't get past him like we did with Hamilton in whatever it was. I forgot that's what I did. Mexico. Because it was obviously, we were so far ahead that none of the back markers could get close to us. But we're going to get past Vettel because Vettel hasn't came through. You can see him on the mini-map. He's just coming through the first corner now. Oh, we've jumped Vettel, but Hamilton's jumped Hulkenberg, which could be a big letdown for me because I needed to get behind him. So we're just going to try and work our way past Hulkenberg straight away, which we do lovely around the outside of him at Village, but he holds in there, but we just have too much grip because the brand new tyres around the outside. Now we are catching up to Hamilton. The mediums don't look like they have warmed up yet. As we dive down the inside and we hit him, but it should be alright to carry on. And we are now coming around the outside of him, seeing if he will let us pass, but he shuts the door pretty well there. and we are now coming onto the national pit straight. We get a lot of carrying speed. These tyres are working magics for us, so we're glad I did that strategy, and we sweep past him, but we go off circuit, and he is very close to us going through Maggots and Beckett. I think he might have a go in the next lap, or the end of this lap, to be honest. So as we come through these corners, Hamilton is now catching us very fast down this back straight. As we tried to protect the inside, but Hamilton's just too quick for us, and we don't get past him. But we try around the outside, but Hamilton just comes in front of us and just almost let us pass. We're gonna dive down the inside of the very last corner, well, at the third last corner, which we do, lovely. And now we are just Norris and everybody who should be in front of us have not pitted yet. Oh, there's a scrap going on behind us between Vettel and Hamilton. Oh, Verstappen stayed out for a 1 extra lap. That could be interesting to see where he comes out then. I think he'll come out around where his teammate is, so yeah. So we are now coming down the straight. Verstappen is miles ahead, but I don't think that fears us very much, as we basically that battle was for second, but it's now for first, as you can see, because Verstappen is now gone in the pits, so that's why it says I'm in first. And now what is happening is I think I just lead for the rest of the GP, and but I'm just gonna keep it cool and don't get too excited, and just make sure that I bring the car home in one piece and not in a million. So basically what's happening is we are now just leading by a big mile. As you can see, the gap has like distance from very far from us to Hamilton and Vettel. So what's happening is I'm just pulling away and going fastest in the first sector than anybody's gone. So we are now on the lap 12 of 13, and I'm just about to skip it to lap 13 near the end, which I think we do in 3, 2, 1. Yes, so this is coming through Beckett's for the last time, then through Chapel, down the back straight, coming to Stowe. As you can see, the gap is absolutely massive compared to what it was between me and Hamilton and Vettel. It's quite big. Except Vettel and Hamilton have been scrapping for the last 3 minutes. Well, I've cut it away, but we are now coming through the final corners from back of the grid with Charles Leclerc, like we do with Lewis Hamilton, and we win the British Grand Prix from last place on the grid. So I will obviously again just let this bit play out, so you can listen to what commentators say.
Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
I think we'll chalk this one up to a deft touch on the brake pedal. That's allowed them to challenge down the inside into the braking zones, and ultimately, if you do that often enough, you end up winning the race. It was great to watch as well though, wasn't it? Forget strategy, forget tyre management. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned scrap?
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on the track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone.
So that will be the end of this video, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.